Eric Lesser ekes out victory in the race to represent the Democratic Party for state senate in the 1st Hamden and Hampshire district. We have the latest. A big night for the East Longmeadow School Committee as it tackles the issue of MCAS and a new standardized test that may be mandated by the state. We take a look. And plans are underway for the grand opening of the brand new tennis courts at the high school. We have a sneak peek. Those stories and Spartan sports just ahead on ELCAT News Update. Good evening, I'm May Randall. We begin tonight with results from Tuesday's primary election. Voters in East Longmeadow headed to Birchland Park Middle School Tuesday to cast their ballot. Here's a rundown on the overall race to represent East Longmeadow in the 1st Hamden and Hampshire district in November's general election. Former White House aide Eric Lesser took the win with just 198 votes over challenger Tim Allen, a Springfield city councilor. Lesser racked up 5,373 votes to Allen's 5,175. Rounding out the votes, Ludlow School Committee member Chip Harrington came in third with a tally of 4,187. Ludlow Selectman Aaron Saunder, 1,403 votes, and Tom Lacusa of Longmeadow came in with 430 votes. Lesser will face two candidates in November, former East Longmeadow Board of Selectmen and the sole Republican candidate, Deborah Baronski. Mike Franco of Holyoke is running as an independent. Incumbent Senator Gail Kinderis of Wilbraham is not seeking re-election. The 1st Hamden and Hampshire district consists of East Longmeadow, Longmeadow, Wilbraham, Belchertown, Hamden, Granby, Ludlow, and parts of Springfield and Chicopee. In other town news tonight, the school committee tackles the often controversial issue of the MCAS test. The question, whether to keep the standardized test or move on in favor of a new assessment now being pushed by the state. The school committee met earlier this week. 36 states, including Massachusetts, are looking into new standardized tests. Since the entire nation has adopted a newer set of curriculum known as the Common Core Standards, the race is on to develop a new test that can be used across multiple states. That would then replace the nearly 20-year-old MCAS. The assessment now under consideration is the PARC, or Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers.
Just to refresh everyone's memory, at the end of the school year, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education was looking for any early adopters, as they termed it, for this coming school year, the one we're in, to select either PARC in some shape or form. You could do it all the way through your grades, you could do it online, you could do it paper and pencil. You had a number of ways you could make that choice, and or MCAS.
Smith says the leadership team is recommending keeping the MCAS for grades 9 and 10, but moving to the PARC test for grades 3 through 8, at least for the coming year.
The leadership team feels since the graduation requirement is still there through this current freshman class for MCAS, that we stay MCAS grades 9 and 10, and we look at the PARC and utilize the PARC paper and pencil exam in grades 3 through 8 this year.
However, Smith says the goal this year is to get students and staff more prepared when it comes to technology.
This year I think we're going to start to move toward getting our students more prepared. And so as we continue with technology renewal, the next step, the first step was we needed to make sure our teachers had more current technology and then had the training to use that technology well. Then the next step will be to continue to take aging labs, renew those with mobile labs.
School committee member Beth Boucher, however, raised concern that the PARC test itself is still being tested.
I feel it's major federal government overreach. I think we need to be very careful. I think that they should not practice on our children. And just to let y'all know, they have 10,000 questions that they have yet to assess from last year's practice to create the exam for the spring. For PARC.
So do you and the leadership team believe that the future will be closer to PARC than MCAS?
Yes.
In the end, based on information to date from the state, the school committee voted to pass the leadership team's recommendation.
I make a motion that we follow the leadership team's Recommendation, and choose MCAS for grades 9 and 10, and POC for grades 3 through 8, paper and pencil.
Great, so a motion has been made
I'll second.
and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, let's take a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, and that still carries forward 4-1.
The committee's vote comes just a few weeks before the state-mandated October 1st deadline. One more note from the school committee. As it stands, terms for elected members expire immediately following the April election. That means any newly elected members begins his or her term immediately. At Tuesday's meeting, school committee member William Fonseca expressed his concern for such a quick change of guards during such a critical time of year.
The reasons that I came up with this are, and you know, it's kind of hitting me in the face, because in April, right after town election, you get a new member. Our budget isn't done. Our capital plan isn't done. District data we're still compiling district data for SMART goals.
Right.
And the summative evaluation that's due in June. I mean, it's very difficult, I feel, for a new member to sit here in April and get up to speed with so much data that's still coming at us. And that's where I came up with the idea.
The committee voted 4-1 to change members' terms to expire June 30th with a start date of July 1st. The change now requires an amendment to the town bylaw. The committee voted to include the proposed change in the upcoming warrant for the October 27th special town meeting. If you've driven past the high school lately, no doubt you've noticed the brand new tennis courts are just about complete. The DPW and contractor hired by the town are putting the finishing touches on the courts this week. DPW Facilities Manager Bruce Fenney says the court should be open for business by the end of next week.
We're about 90% complete on the courts. We're finalizing punch list items with Cape and Island and Gale Associates, the engineer, going over just the final items that need to be addressed here at the tennis court.
Fenney says there are 2 items left. One is painting the lines for youth tennis.
We were requested lining for the 10 and under quick start program. It's part of the UST guidelines for grants and those items which the Tennis Association is looking for to fund all the lighting here.
The other item still in the works are the lights.
When the project was brought forth to us after reviewing this with our engineer, found that we did not have enough lights, actually new lights, because the cost was significantly higher than the budget amount that we had. The new lights cost about $65,000 with the footings and the poles themselves. So we decided to move forward with the project anyways, based on some grant information that the Tennis Association has been applying for, and some other Tennis Association monies they've raised over the years. So it's looking good. We're working, moving forward to see if we can get all our ducks in a row and get it, get it done.
The DPW has done most of the groundwork in getting the footing and everything else ready for the actual poles and lights to be installed. He says the East Long Meadow Tennis Association is working on pitching in the rest through fundraising and grants that are already in the works.
Once we do get the lights in place, we're going to have a little timing system here, so people that are using the facility after hours can hit a timer for 60 minutes at a time and use either front or back courts and at their leisure, instead of having them on photo eyes and having to access an electrical panel and everything else, so people will be able to utilize it year-round.
The goal is to have the lights installed by this winter or early spring. In the meantime, again, the courts will be ready for action next week. A grand opening ceremony is being planned. Stay tuned to ELCAT News Update for details. In Spartan sports news, a lot to cover. Let's start with varsity girls volleyball. We go to the action on home court in East Long Meadow for the Lady Spartans as they face number 8 ranked Agawam. A great dame for EL's Julia Decker, she recorded 14 kills and 18 digs as the Spartans went on to defeat the Brownies in 5 sets. The final, 16-14 Spartans. East Long Meadow improves to 1-1 while Agawam falls to 0-2. Moving on to boys varsity soccer, the number 11 ranked Spartans faced number 2 Ludlow Tuesday night at home. The Spartan defense was solid and kept the Lions striker off his game for the first half. but it was not to be for the Spartans. The Lions' Josh Labonte put a header in the back of the net after drawing EL keeper Tyler Martinelli out of the box. In the 47th minute, the Lions scored again, which would prove to be the final tally, 2-1. Checking girls varsity soccer, a much-needed win after a 2-0 start to the season. The Ladies Spartans beat rival Ludlow 3-2. EL senior Alyssa Highland hit a beautiful shot toward the opposite half of the goal.
She crosses it in. Actually looks like she goes to goal. And that goes over the hand of McCarthy and in the net. So that's a free kick goal by Alyssa Highland, her first of the year.
Then, with 15 minutes left in the first half, freshman Leanna D'Alessio made it 2-0 with a through ball from Kayla Giugio. The Lady Lions had several opportunities, capitalizing on 2. But EL junior Shannon Kennedy fired the last shot to seal the deal. The Spartans go on to win 3-2. East Longmeadow is now 1-2 on the season. Moving to football, after a strong outing last Friday night against South Hadley, the Spartans take on a tough Amherst team this Friday night at home. The boys are working hard this week to prepare, getting ready for what is sure to be a challenge with the number 16 ranked Hurricanes. One of the biggest threats Friday comes from a running back and Boston College commit Taja Mir Torres. Co-captain Nick Shea says they'll be ready.
Yeah, well, for Taj, we have Richard, who's usually our Sam linebacker. Wherever he goes on the field, whether it could be in the backfield to the left, right, he's always manned up on him. So he's fast. We're trying to eliminate him getting across the field, slow him up a little bit, just to give us more help in the backfield with the secondary. We watched film all day yesterday. We're going to try and keep more fast kids, like Mike Magpinto might play some in the backfield. But we're just trying to eliminate, they have like 4 of the guys that are all Western Mass, all American, Czech, like stars that, I don't know, they're mad fast, but we're just trying to slow them down a little bit. If we play our best game, we'll win.
Be sure to come out for the Spartans home opener. Once again, kickoff is Friday night at 7. Well, that will do it for us tonight. Thanks for watching ELCAT News Update. I'm May Randall. Until next time, good night.